Hey Facebook family, how are you? How's your week going? So, is there anybody else like me that's trying to figure out how to get more time in your day? This is the reason this kind of came into my heart is that this is Tech Week. And so things are extra busy and I am really mindful of how I'm spending my time. So, if you are watching me on the replay, please make sure and let us know that below where you're watching from. And if you're watching me live, say hey so I know you're hanging out with me. My name is Beth Campbell. I am a CBD advocate and success coach, and I am a really busy mom of 2 teenagers, a really proud busy mom of 2 teenagers. And so I am just trying to figure out how to do everything I need to do and still have time to chill out a little bit. Hi, Alicia. So in case this is something that is a challenge for you, if time management, energy management is a challenge for you, then let's chat a little bit. And I would love to hear your suggestions too. What works for you? What is helpful for you? So some of these things I'm going to mention 5 tips, okay? 5 tips that have been helpful for me, maybe that I've been doing for a while. Some of these, honestly, I've incorporated. Hi, Janet. I've incorporated like this week. I'm all about trial and error and figuring out what works for me. So the first one, okay? So here's the thing. I am really blessed. I'm so blessed that I work from home. I have my online CBD business, and I shouldn't say I work from home. I work from everywhere. You know, that's one of the huge benefits. And but here's the first challenge. The first thing that I've learned is that where I work, my environment can make a huge impact on how effective I am. So, I love working from home. Like, there's hardly anything better than that. But if I'm in a place where, let's say, I've been, running and busy with kids for a couple of days, and, I haven't been able to have the kids do dishes, or maybe I have, like right now, I'm not gonna lie, I have laundry. I'm really behind on my laundry. My kids do their own laundry. But if I have laundry, dishes, things around the house that need to be done, the last thing that I should do is work from home, because I know those things are gonna bug me, they're gonna push my buttons, and I'm not gonna be as effective in what I'm doing. So if the house is not in the place that I want it to be, then I'm gonna make sure that I go hit the coffee shop, or I go work in another environment that's not gonna be so full of distractions and things that can help me procrastinate. Okay, so environment for me is really, really key. Where I'm working at is something that I have to be really conscious of. If I know that it's important to me that I work from home, then I need to make sure I set aside some time to make sure that, kids do dishes and that my laundry is done and, that kind of thing. So that's my first tip. Tip number 2 that I struggle with this one. I don't know about you. Let me know how you feel about this. But I have to be really strategic about when I check email. What about you? Checking email can be this habit that happens and distracts me, takes me off on a tangent, because all of a sudden I'm seeing what someone else needs me to do. I'm going, oh yeah, I forgot I need to do this or that or whatever. So it takes me off on tangents. So in an ideal world, okay, on a really good day when I'm being really intentional, I know that I'm gonna check my email probably like mid-morning, maybe in the afternoon if the day allows, and then in the evening. And I know I can set some time aside to do the things I need to do with the email, but if I do that first thing in the morning, seriously, I'm gonna really get off course and not necessarily be as effective and productive as I need to be. So being mindful, checking email less often if you have that luxury, And so that's my second tip. Number 3, this one's hard too. And I think I learned this one just in the past few weeks and have kind of recommitted to it, is when I am in like a highly focused mode, when I'm working on a project, when I'm working on an aspect of my business or whatever, putting my phone in airplane mode while I'm doing that. Because, again, I don't know about you, but I have, kind of the squirrel mentality, right? Where if I can be focused and working on something, if I get a text, I feel like I have to check it. Because chances are, right, it's probably going to be a friend or someone that I love that I want to, chat with. Or it's going to show me an email notification, right, that I think I have to deal with right then, and it's not often that those things are an emergency. So I have definitely found putting my phone on airplane mode can be really helpful in making sure that I get what I need to get done in a shorter amount of time. The other thing it helps me with doing is it helps me to not forget. I can be in the middle of something, get a text, and then completely forget what I was up to. Okay? So airplane mode, putting my phone in airplane mode has been really helpful for being effective. Let's see. This next one is Google Calendar. I don't know how many of you use Google Calendar. I was really stubborn about it when my friend Kim first brought it up because I was using my Apple Calendar or iCalendar or whatever. But once I finally went ahead and started using Google Calendar, I love being able to color coordinate things. That's probably just a geeky thing about me. But it also helps me see how my day is balanced. It helps me see I have not only things, a color for my business, a color for, each one of my kids' activities, a color for my different volunteer gigs. But I would love to know what's your color. I also have a color for me, right? Like self-care, hanging out with family, hanging out with friends, things I'm doing for myself. And so it helps me see if I see in it, when I look at tomorrow, it helps me see, okay, am I totally neglecting myself? Am I totally focused on one thing and not balancing, air quotes, my day? So Google Calendar and having, that personal and business and volunteer and all those things color code really, really is helpful to me. Along those lines, what I find is that it helps me also see where are my transitions in the day, because, one of the things that I do, I love that I'm self-employed now full-time because I get to run my teenagers all over the place. I'm not even kidding you. If you ever text me, you'll see I'm driving and cannot respond, automatic response. But what that means is transitions are really a challenge for me. Let me know if that's something that comes into play for you too. I'm leaving home and dropping off a kiddo and I have 45 minutes or I have a half an hour while they're at a lesson. If I have to transition and think about when I stop, I drop them off and I stop, oh, what am I going to do now? That's a lot of decisions that I have to make with not much time to really spend on it. If I can look at my calendar and say, look, I have this block of 30 minutes. This is what I'm going to do with it. That can make all the difference in actually accomplishing a few things in that 30 minutes. Or maybe that's my self-care time. Maybe that's time that I'm just going to meditate or listen to music or whatever. So just a little aside about Google Calendar and kind of seeing where those transitions are at. Okay, number five. I'm geeking out over this whole time management thing because it's something I've been so focused on this week. The fifth one is, and I've done this, past times in my life, and I've just now incorporated it again, and I'm really remembering how helpful it is, but power hours. Who uses power hours? Okay, again, what that means, it doesn't mean it has to be an hour, but it means when you have something that has to be done. So for me, it means I know that my volunteer gig, this is the hour that I'm going to spend on it. Or my business, this is the hour or 2 hours. If power hours, that's even better. This is the time I'm going to spend on it. And I commit to it, right? It's on my calendar. So I try to look tonight at my calendar for tomorrow and figure out where those power hours are at. And maybe in some cases I have to use a half hour here, a half hour there. That's okay. But those power hours, again, if I put my phone in airplane mode, and that helps me commit to not doing email, right? Or getting distracted by 19 different tabs on my computer. But if I do a power hour and I know I'm going to focus on that, it is really incredible, you guys. If you do power hours or something along those lines, let me know. I am always amazed at how much I get done during that time. Okay, so I would encourage you, if it's not something you're doing, think about incorporating that if you can. Making the best use of our time. And again, though, not forgetting to schedule in, if need be, like that self-care or just that time to breathe. Because I am the first one to admit I'm guilty of just like go, go, go and trying to schedule in all the time. And I have to really say to myself, you know what, I'm going to schedule this coffee date with a friend. I'm going to just take some time. Like for me in the mornings is when I have to schedule time that I'm going to have my coffee and meditate and journal and, those things that are really, that help, help me recharge. I have to schedule those things too. So I went on and on. I hope something in there jumped out at you as being, potentially helpful in your calendar and your time and energy management. Please feel free to share this out if it was helpful and if you think it could help somebody else. But yeah, I just find that, when I really, let's see, Alicia, I take 1 hour for self-care. Meditate and rejuvenate. I love it, Alicia. That's awesome. I think most of us probably are guilty of not taking enough time for ourselves. And that means when we don't take time for ourselves, it means we're less effective, we're less productive in the long run, right? Because we hit those hard parts of our day, So I think finding that rhythm, and realizing when is it that you need to recharge. We all need that every day, probably a couple times a day at least. Finding out when you need that and setting aside that time is really important. That means we're going to be more effective in the long run. So I'm going to let you go because it is, for some of you, it's really late. And let me know though, if you have time management tips, I would love to hear them. I'm all about trial and error and figuring out what else I can do to feel more like myself and do more, with my time personally and professionally. So I hope you all have a great night, and I will talk to you soon. Love and success.